Welcome to a very curious place. I am soaking wet. The heavens just burst open. I thought I'd get home before it happened. I was wrong. The worst part is my feet are wet. I hate for my feet to be wet. Not only that, but apparently, did you know that on some pet food bags, if you get them wet, the dye comes off of the bag. I did not realize this. So the bottom part of the bag, nothing. I didn't get nothing. It's wet, nothing came off. The top of the bag, however, got purple all over me. All over the coat I was wearing to keep the rain off me. All over my hand, which, I don't know, it's come off mainly. It wiped right off, but, you know, seriously, just everywhere. So, wouldn't have been too bad if it had gotten on this shirt, because the shirt's purple, but the jacket is tan, so I've got the whole passenger side filled with stuff. It has been crazy weather. I have been everywhere today, and I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to keep my butt home. I wanted to keep home. I wanted to stay home. And of course, for some reason, even with all the bad weather, everybody has come out. It is insanity. Seriously, total, complete insanity. Oh, this person's gonna turn. Yay, that means I get to go. And I'm just like, there's a slight break in the weather. Okay. Are you kidding me? There's no one in the passenger seat. It's telling me that my seatbelt isn't on. Seatbelt is on. Apparently, I have put so much stuff in the passenger seat, it now thinks that there's a person there. It's been that kind of day. Got up at 9. This is basically just going to be me bitching, so y'all can just turn out if you don't want to watch it. But it's just, it's going to be, the alarm went off at 9. I just didn't get up. I didn't get up. And then 10 rolls around. The dogs are like, it's time to eat. You need to move. So I had to get up and feed them. Then I'm like, well, I'm up. I might as well go ahead and do what I gotta do. So, yeah. And yet, even though I started out that early, I did not get out of the house until like 2. I was like, how does that even work? 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 4 hours. 4 hours. It's not like I put on makeup. It's not like I did my hair. Apparently, it's just, I had so much stuff that I was fiddling with that it took me forever to get out of the house. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Because I had to go to like government offices, social security office. And of course, that always takes longer than you want to. And I ended up having to go through 2 different windows. So I had to start out at one window. Then they're like, go wait, and she'll call you back to the other one. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not like I have a choice, you know, so. Such fun. Oh, traffic has been crazy. These people are nuts. It's like when it rains, they all just lose their minds. Seriously, just lose their minds. It's like water on the ground doesn't mean it's okay to go crazy. I mean, come on. The thing is still blinking to tell me that I don't have a seatbelt on. It's the passenger seat. It has to be. Yeah, it's underneath passenger. Duh. You'd think I would have noticed it's underneath the little thing that says passenger. Huh. Like I said, it's been one of those days. And the videos that I intended to upload, I accidentally deleted on my computer and my phone. It's been fun. It's time to go home and not leave. I've got like one more stop and I'm done, you know, so yeah, I'm gonna go do my extra stop, and then I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm like so tired, it's not even funny. So, but yeah. Crazy times, crazy, crazy, crazy. These people don't know where they're going. They really don't. So. I can't see out the back window. But yeah, no, I intended, there was a whole bunch of videos that I had filmed and I was like, can't believe I deleted those. So, that's why they didn't get posted. Crazy. Because yesterday, well, ever since the night before 4th of July, it's been chaos in my house because night before 4th of July they start doing fireworks, and when they start doing fireworks my dogs start going off. They go nuts. They cannot stand them. Fireworks are right along those same lines as thunderstorms. Thunder and lightning they can't stand. Fireworks they can't stand. So fireworks start going off, I end up with the dog. I end up with at least one dog in my lap, the cat on the back of the chair, you know. And then on top of that, if the fireworks weren't enough, it was thundering and storming. I was like, are you kidding? So it's like a twofer. And that went on all through that night, all into the next day, and even into that night. And I'm just like, Lord, are they gonna be done soon? I mean, come on. Let me put you on pause. Hold that thought. Okay. I wanted a green tea. I've been drinking this coffee for hours now. It's basically water at this point. So, yeah, it's basically water. So, anyway. Make sure I'm not blocking traffic. Okay. But yes, it has been completely nuts. So there was all that. So it's fireworks, thundering, everything. And now I thought I was going to get a little bit of a reprieve today while I was gone. So at least I wouldn't have to worry about them being upset because of thunder while I was gone. Now this. Yay. Awesome. And I haven't been watching anything really to do reviews on. So I'm like, you know, I haven't done any of the reviews because I'm just like, eh. So I thought, you know, we'll throw in a vlog with Fiendish Friday and we'll see if anybody's interested. So, I can't pick it up with one hand. It's wet. Oh Lord. The green tea's wet. Slippery. So, sticky spot. So anyway, what was I gonna do? I had plans and everything in my head before the rain hit. Then the rain hit and I was like, oh, what was I doing? Don't remember what I was doing. I don't. Oh well. I guess, you know what? Let's do vampires. I haven't done vampires. I don't think I've done vampires yet. Okay. Have I done vampires? I don't remember. I've talked about Stakeland. I think that's about as much as I've talked about when... Oh. Fiddle, they're on the road. Where are you going? It's my turn. So, anyway. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. This is straight. I don't want to go straight. I want to turn. I am in the wrong lane. I want to go that way and I can't go that way, so I'm gonna have to double around. Anyway, so my favorite vampire thing of all times. I know people are gonna think, oh, it's cheesy, but you know what? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I gotta say, vampire stuff. The movie I wasn't that thrilled with. It was kind of campy. But the TV show, I loved the TV show, and I have to say that Spike was my favorite. You know, right, and Xander right behind him. So, you know, if I had to pick 2 favorites. So let's turn the AC down so it's not whooshing right into the camera mic. But yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, actually my favorite, because I mean, I've watched all the Buffys, I've watched all the Angels, I've watched them all. You know, Stakelands were good. I will say that. Stakelands were good. It's not necessarily, I mean, they were different. It was a different kind of vampire, you know? I mean, it wasn't the normal vampire thing that goes on. You know, and of course you've got Interview with a Vampire, which I am not a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt fan. I say that. That's my opinion. Don't come for me. I'm just not. I've never been a fan of either of their works. You know, they might be okay people, but just as actors, I'm not that crazy about them. There's only a couple things that I honestly like them in, and I can honestly say that Interview with a Vampire is one of them. Okay. So, you know, so worried I'm going to break a nail. And I don't care if I break a nail, I just don't want to break it off into the quick. I think that's the problem. But yeah, so Interview with a Vampire. And honestly, out of the entire show, my favorite one out of Interview with a Vampire was the little girl, who, I forget the name of the actress that played her, but I loved her. Didn't really care one way or another for any of the rest of them. But I loved the little girl, you know. And then right behind that would be Queen of the Damned. And I will tell you something about Queen of the Damned. That soundtrack is awesome. I mean, if you listen to this, even if you don't watch the movie, listen to the soundtrack to Queen of the Damned. I love that soundtrack. It is so awesome. You know, so many great songs. And I love the movie Queen of the Damned. It kind of is a different take on vampires. This kind of, and yet not, you know, it kind of leads you towards the same normal thing. It's not like, you know, Stakeland was kind of just, you know, they made them out to be what you would think a vampire would be, which is monsters, you know. So, but so yeah, Queen of the Damned was awesome. I'm trying to think of the other one. Well, I guess, you know, if you're talking about vampires, you have to talk about Twilight. And Twilight, I think, was more of a little teeny bopper thing. It really was. I think it was one of those things where, you know, it was more of a teenager thing. I was never that big of a fan. I watched the first couple of them. Shh, don't tell anybody. I didn't watch more than like the first 2. And I don't honestly remember how many there were. So, I don't. That thing is so wet. I have no idea if I can go where I need to go in this lane. I guess we'll find out. I think I can, though. I think it's open. They just put in an underpass, is why. So, yeah. Twilight, it was good for what it was. I find it funny that even Robert Pattinson didn't like it. It was not a well-liked show by a lot of people. I do think it's funny that the main actor, Robert Pattinson, I find it funny that even he hated the movie. It's like everybody else loves it, and he's like, I hate this movie. but it helped make his career, and it did make him money, I'm sure. So, you know, that's a plus. I think I need to go down here and go. I don't know where I'm going. Have no clue where I'm going. They've done all this road all over again. But yeah, I mean, Twilight, the main thing that always bothered me about Twilight, because I love vampire shows, so the main thing that bothered me about Twilight is that the vampires could go out in the sun. Yeah, okay, they don't burn up in the sun, but they sparkle. Okay, there's just so much wrong with that. It's like, vampires are supposed to burst into dust in the sun. They're not supposed to go sparkly and pretty. And they're just not. and it's funny that that's the part that bothers me. That's the part that bothers me. I cannot stand that. I think it's just taking me in a circle. I have no idea where I'm going. I really don't. Where the hell am I going? I'm lost. There's other cars in front of me, so they're lost too. Plus. Seriously, no clue. Good Lord. I hate it when I'm going back to the exact same place I was before. Oh, awesome. That's great. Where am I going? Oh, okay. I know where I'm at now. Yay! But yeah, no, it took me in a big circle. But it's just the whole, and I know it's odd that that's the part that bothers me, but it is. That's the part that bothers me, the whole sparkly in the sunshine thing. I just, I look at that and I'm just like, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's unnatural. But then I'm like, wait, they're vampires. It's unnatural to be a vampire too. That's just one. And I was watching on Amazon Prime, and they've got this little Amazon Prime original, the vampire thing that they did. And it's only got 2 episodes. And I forget what the name of it is. My brain just like went oof. But yeah, it's only 2 episodes, and the first episode is like 9 minutes, and the second one is like 20, I think, or 12. I'm not sure. It's not long, and it's cheesy, but I like the fact I was watching it, and one of the things. Actually, I need to turn there. What the hell? Why? Why? This traffic is insane. But yeah. And the thing is that there's this one scene in it where this guy's the vampire's on a subway, and you don't know he's the vampire at the time, but well, of course you know he is, because his name is on his picture's on the first part of the thing. But anyway, so he's talking to this woman that comes on the train, and she settles down with the book Twilight, and he starts talking to her about vampires and stuff like that. And then towards the end of that episode, he's attacked the person he's going to attack. Everybody's run off the thing. She's running. She trips right as she gets out of the subway. And he goes to the door and he calls her name, and he's like, "Not so pretty now, are we?" Because one of the things she had said is that vampires, they're so pretty and they're so romantic. And he was just like, "We're not so pretty now, are we?" So I do like that, and I find it funny. And that is the truth, I mean, vampires are romanticized throughout all movies and books and everything, but in fact, they're kind of parasites that live off the human race. Not that they're real. I know they're not real. Be interesting if they were real, but they're not. Then you've got the supernatural. And I mean like Supernatural, the TV show vampire, which they take the vampire in like a whole different kind of path, like with all the multiple teeth and rows and everything like that. And they take it an interesting way. So I'm just like, that one's unique. It is. It's unique. And so yeah. But it's funny the way everybody takes things into a different way. So as much as all the vampires are alike, they're so different in every show. It's the same way with werewolves. It's the same way with werewolves, because you've got, you've got the werewolves that, are friendly werewolves, and then you've got the ones that, like in Twilight, they just look like big dogs, like really big dogs, and it's like, it's not the kind of werewolf I was, taught to believe existed. Not that any of us believe they exist, but still. But, it's not the ones that you see in all the movies and stuff like that. And I need to go that way. So yeah. Every movie seems to take it and move it around to a different way. Just like Kolchak, the Night Stalker, which I love. And no, Here we go again. So yeah, Kolchak the Night Stalker was an old show from back in the late 70s, I think it was. Mid to late 70s, I think. And it was about this newspaper reporter named Carl Kolchak, who was basically a pain in everyone's butt. Because he had to get the story. You know? And he was constantly, you know, running onto, you know, the different things that, you know, he shouldn't be finding, like vampires and werewolves and zombies and, you know, mummies and, you know, things like that. So, it's a very interesting show. And they did do a remake of it with the guy that played in Queen of the Damned. And I have to admit, I didn't hate the remake. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And I have watched all of them. But see, I've watched all the original Kolchak the Night Stalker ones. And I really do like the originals. But the new ones, and I say new, it was back in like maybe the early 2000s. So, not that new. But still, more new than the 1970s. So, they weren't bad. It put a little bit more of a, I guess I hate to say it, like a bougie spin on it. I don't know. But, you know, because Carl Kolchak's a middle-aged guy, wears a frumpy suit and a hat, you know, I mean, he's not the best looking guy out there. He's not going to be a model material. And then you switch it over with the guy that played in Queen of the Damned and make him Carl Kolchak, and it's like, oh, look, he could be on a runway in Milan. That guy is gorgeous. It's like, it's an interesting choice. That was a very interesting choice. I'm not sure I agree with your choice, but hey, it was interesting. So, you know. But, and he did the same thing. He gave it a more dark and lonely kind of vibe with the new one. Whereas with Carl Kolchak, it was always, you know, just, I'm gonna get that story, you know, so. God only knows what the other drivers think I'm doing. Sitting here making hand gestures to the camera. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I love that one. Those are good ones. Of course, you've got, you know, the typical, like, Stephen King ones, you know, and that type of vampire, and you've got a couple other ones. But, you know, I mean, I think the main thing is they're all very interesting, but a lot of times they're all kind of alike to a certain extent. So, I don't know. I find it interesting how, you know, as different they can make them without completely changing them over. So it's different and similar at the same time. So, and I heard something about them making a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, another one, and I'm just like, God, don't screw up Buffy. Just leave Buffy and Angel alone. It's bad enough you're coming for Charmed, which was another one that had like supernatural elements in it, vampires. I'm pretty sure they had vampires in that one too. So, and I will say the original, I like Charmed. I liked the first part of them when it was the first three sisters. After they added the fourth sister, I was like, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It is what it is. But that's one of those I don't think they need to make a remake of. I really wish they would stop making remakes. I really, really wish they would just make some more original stuff. Quit doing remakes. Seriously. Enough already. We're traumatized enough. Quit doing that to us. Push. If I try, I can actually cry on cue, so. But, yeah, just all the remakes. I mean, another good vampire show, Dark Shadows. Not the movie. Dear God, not the movie. But the original one. It was more the original one back in like the 60s, I think. All in black and white. Eventually, I think it switched over to like color. Mother Nature's in a mood today. So yeah. But the original Dark Shadows, this is going to be terrible sound. I am so sorry. I can't control Mother Nature. She's such a shrew. But yeah. The original Dark Shadows, I used to watch that when I was a kid. when I was watching like the remakes of it, or the repeats of it, I loved it. But it was more of a supernatural soap opera. And I loved that. And it didn't really have any funny to it. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the Johnny Depp remake. I do. I like Johnny Depp. But that it wasn't really true to the whole Dark Shadows thing. I mean, it's different, you know. And so, I don't know. It wasn't bad. I liked it for what it was, which was just a kind of a funny movie, you know. I didn't really look on that as a remake because it wasn't true to the original story. You know, because in the original story, you know, he was all brooding and there was no funny, there were no jokes. There were no jokes in the original Dark Shadows. If there were, they fell flat because I don't remember ever hearing anybody laugh in that show. Seriously. No laughs. It was really kind of like a dramatic soap opera thing, you know. It just had vampires. So, but it was good, you know. And and it was more of like a traditional, like, you know, when they did the traditional original Dracula at the very beginning. It was more like that, you know, with Bela Lugosi. I love that one. I love the old classics from like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. I love those. I know a lot of people probably don't. I know a lot of the younger generation is probably like, it's in black and white. Where's the CGI? You had to use your imagination back then. You know, we didn't need CGI. They didn't need CGI back then. They were just happy to watch a movie, you know. So, but yeah, I love the old ones back in those days. And so Bela Lugosi in Dracula was one of the first ones. Now, it wasn't like the first one, but it was one of the earlier ones. Then you had the Keanu Reeves Dracula version, which I can't remember the guy that played Dracula. It's terrible. I love him. He's a great actor. I can't remember his name. But anyway, you had that one. And I liked that one. That one kind of took it to a whole different spin on it. It took like the Bela Lugosi Dracula and kind of tweaked it just a bit. It was like, okay, we saw what Bela Lugosi did with his Dracula, but now we're going to take that, put it here, and then we're going to move this, and we're going to put it right kind of on top of it. Now what do you think? You know, so I do love that. It was a good one. And it's funny is that even though they're good, they're not the type of movies that I would watch over and over again. You know, most of those movies aren't. Now, just like, you know, the Interview with a Vampire, I've watched it maybe 3 times. The same thing with the original, with the Dracula remake. You know, there's a lot of them I will watch over and over and over again. Then there are some of them that I'm just like, once was enough. It's fine. I'm done. You know, and it's funny what makes a good show that you really, really want to watch. I know I was just talking to one of my friends. Are you going to go? Apparently you're not going to go. You're going to go and try and run into me. I see what that is. But yeah. I was talking to one of my friends about, you know, the things with Walking Dead. So, and what they did to it, and it's like how they screwed it up. So, you know, and it's funny how if you make one wrong move, you can destroy a show, much like they've done with The Walking Dead. Hint, hint. Yeah, they've done terrible, terrible things with The Walking Dead. You're gonna get run over. Here than over there. So yeah, but yeah, and it is always funny to me how you look at a movie and you're like, okay, if they had just done this instead of that, then this movie would have been awesome. But they didn't do that. They did that, and it sucks. So yeah, I'm at Aldi, so I need to find a quarter. The joys of Aldi. Yeah, so That's the thing, you know, every little thing, every little step people make, every little choice they make when they make these shows, any little thing can change it from good to just crap. I mean, it's sad to say, it really, really is, but that's the truth. You know, I mean, you know, one wrong misstep and what could have been an awesome movie, even turn into a cult classic, is basically just trash now after they do that. So it's like, good job, dude. Did I put that card back? I rearranged stuff in my wallet. Yes, I did. And then I go to look for it and I'm like, hey, I can't find it. What do I do with that? I don't know. So, but yeah. I love EOS. It's fun, and I love EOS. And I will tell you, this one is like a strawberries and cream, and this one is like a sweet mint. This one is the funniest texture. I got them at the same time, and this one is so soft. It's funny. It is really funny. It's so soft, and this one isn't so much harder. And this one has a really smooth texture, and this one has kind of a gritty one, and I'm just like, that's strange. Yeah, it is strange. Strange, strange, strange. So, anyway, that's about all I got for this one. Watch you know what? Watch some, put your favorite vampire movies. I had to catch my point of view and my thought. I had to get control. Jello up there. Put your favorite vampire movies down in the comments. Let me know. Or your favorite horror movies, period. I'm always curious. I'm always looking for a new something to watch. So anyway, this person parked across from me thinks I'm probably crazy. On that note, I have to go now. So, as always, much love from Monty in a very curious place. Stay strange, sweeties. Bye.